Hey y'all, hey, welcome to And Another Thing podcast, where we say the quiet parts out loud, heal in real time, and stop pretending we're fine when we're actually furious. And another thing, today we're going to be talking about anger. Not the catch an attitude kind of anger. I mean this ancestral swallowed discipline, prayed away rage that many of us feel but we're never allowed to say, right? Especially Black women. This is a sacred conversation about rage, grief, restraint, and respectability. So take a breath, pause, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and let's talk. Let me say this plainly. Anger is not the problem. Unexpressed anger is. Many of us were taught early, don't be rude, watch your tone, you don't want to be that kind of women, pray about it, be grateful, right? And if you a church girl like me, be angry and sin not, right? So many things were thrown at us about anger as if anger is a negative emotion. It is not. What that translated to was your anger is dangerous, so push it back down. Your silence is safer. Well, we all know that is a myth. Suffering in silence, today's the day that you say, I'm not going to suffer in silence. I'm just not going to have it, right? There are ways where we can communicate, where we don't have to be aggressive or in violent ways, but anger is not the problem. Write that down. My anger is not the problem. But here's the truth. When anger has nowhere to go, it doesn't disappear. So just because you may not feel it in the moment, it does not disappear. It turns inward. And our body keeps the score. Our body takes tab and has receipts of everything that has bothered us, even if we've never said it. I recall some years ago, very early COVID, I was working with, oh my goodness, so it was before COVID, I was working with a client and she had come for various reasons. Relationships were not what she wanted them to be, right? People were saying, you're mad, you're this. And she was like, I'm not mad. I ain't got nothing to be mad about, And so one day, and I just asked her, why you mad? She was like, I'm not mad. You are angry. You are mad. And you have this fire inside of you that you probably don't know, but it comes off and it other people can feel it. And so I sat quiet. She sat quiet for a minute and then she just burst into tears. The tears just started flowing because no one had ever asked her why she was mad. The question wasn't if you're mad, because I knew she was mad because it showed in her behavior. The question was, why are you mad? And once she began to talk about why she was mad, the dam broke. Years and years of built up anger came flooding out. It was stored in her body for some time. She had also had some health issues, and I'm certain that it was the stress and that anger she held onto. It was unprocessed. It had nowhere to go, so she continued to push it down. And she gave me a list of things that she was angry about. Being unheard, having to be a single mom when she didn't ask for that, not being heard on her job, right? People not taking her serious, relationships that where people took advantage of her. So many things, years and years and years of built up, just came out. So when I tell you that the body keeps receipts, oh, honey, it keeps receipts. So let's ground this in some facts, right? So studies show that chronic emotional suppression is associated with higher rates of hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and autoimmune disorders. Chronic emotional suppression. You know what that is, y'all? Saying I'm fine and I'm not. How you doing? I'm all right. Shrugging it off, not saying nothing. Your body's holding on to it. Black women experience hypertension at rates nearly 40 to 50% higher than white women. Y'all, why you mad? Why you angry? Let's talk about it. According to the APA, American Psychological Association, people who suppress anger are more likely to experience depression, anxiety, and somatic symptoms like headaches, gastrointestinal issues, and chronic pain. You ever wonder why all of a sudden you got a headache, your stomach hurt, you can't get right, you have to have a conversation with someone, or you're about to do something and all of a sudden you feel real sick? I know. Sis, that's somatic symptoms. It's our emotions coming out in a bodily way, in a physical way. Research published in the Psychosomatic Medicine found out that anger suppression increases mortality risks, particularly from heart disease. What that mean, y'all? Being silent is killing you. It increases mortality risk, particularly from heart disease. So anger is tied to your heart. Also, Black women are disproportionately affected by stress-related illness. I don't think this is the first time that you've ever heard this, especially about the stress-related issue. Often linked to emotional restraint, workplace code switching, that's going to be an episode all by itself, and caretaking roles. So when people say, why are Black women so tired? The real question is, how much anger have we been carrying quietly? And we haven't said anything. Let's talk about respectability. Because child. Respectability taught us to be composed, even when disrespected. Don't do that. Don't say that. You can't wear this. Don't do your hair like this. It came with this invisible set of rules. It taught us to be strong, even when we are grieving, even when we are depleted, even when we've been violated, even when we've been disrespected. Be strong. It taught us that we are to carry things that others can't carry. So you just put it on your shoulder and you'll figure it out. That respectability is us overproducing and allowing others to underproduce, and we are to be strong about it. We are taught to be polite, even when someone has ticked us all the way off. That's okay. Just be polite. No. Respectability is why you explain yourself instead of expressing yourself. How many of y'all over explain? I can't make it because and this, and let me tell you, and let me tell you, and let me tell you. That's not expressing yourself. That's explaining yourself. And then we go into over explaining because we're trying to get someone to agree with why we did or didn't do it, something. If I'm on your road, just say ouch. But tell yourself, over-explaining stops today. We're going to express ourselves, but I'm not over-explaining or explaining myself to nobody. Respectability is why you intellectualize pain instead of feeling it. Say ouch again. You try to say, well, if I do that, here you are over-explaining and intellectualizing. Well, I just need to do this. Nah, we ain't doing it. We're not doing it. Instead of feeling it and say, I don't like how this feels. We're negotiating with our feelings and with our emotions. And we're under this invisible guise of respectability because I have to show up for the people. I'd rather think my way through it than feel my way through it. Say ouch if you hear me. You apologize. Respectability is why you apologize for having boundaries. No, I'm sorry I can't make it, but if I could. No, your boundary is very much, I said what I said, and I'm not moving. That's it. I said what I said, and that's it. We're not apologizing for having boundaries. Okay? Say K. Shake your head. Say K. Respectability is why you call rage stress so it sounds acceptable. How many times have you had to bite your tongue? Almost till your tongue is swollen and bleeding because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want to seem mean and you want to be accepted. But you being accepted, it won't be the real you. It'll be a watered down version of yourself for these folk to handle. Once again, say ouch. Give yourself a big hug and say, I ain't doing that no more. Okay? But because let me tell you, anger is not a character flaw. It's a signal. Anger says something is wrong. Anger says something mattered. Anger says something was taken. Something was crossed. Anger is a signal. Okay? Neither good nor bad. Anger's a signal. But here's the part that we don't talk about enough. The grief behind the rage, that anger. Anger often sits on top of grief. Have you ever heard of the 5 stages of grief? Anger's a stage. And grief is not linear. And so the grief for the little girl who had to be mature. The woman who had to stay quiet to survive. The times you were gaslit and you were told that you were too much, when truthfully, they weren't enough. The life you could have lived if you didn't have to manage everyone else's comfort. Grieve for yourself. When we often look at grief, we often think at the loss of someone. We don't often look at grief by looking at the loss of ourselves, previous versions of us. What did we have to give up? What did we have to sacrifice? Who did we have to become in order to survive? People, places, things, attacks on our character, physical attacks, maybe sexual abuse. What grief do you carry that you have not acknowledged and that we have then put anger on top? And when anger sits too long, it certainly can fester into rage. And we're walking around with our inside in knots, with headaches, with backaches. Our shoulders are hurting, right? We've put on weight. We have all of these health conditions. Why? Because we're mad. We're angry. Rage is all in our bodies and we don't even know it. We have masked it and said, man, listen, I am stressed. When really, we're not stressed. We're angry. What I want you to find comfort in this episode is sometimes rage isn't about now. That rage and the anger that you feel, it's not about now, today. It's about everything you've endured with or without witnesses. With or without witnesses. And so I need you to hear this. Your anger makes sense. What are you angry about? Let's talk about what healthy anger actually looks like. Healthy anger is not violence. It's not destruction. It's clarity. Let that sit with you for a minute, right? Healthy anger is clarity. Healthy anger sets boundaries without apologizing. It stops over-explaining. We already committed that we were done with over-explaining, right? It ends relationships that require self-betrayal. I'm going to put this plug in here. Listen, if you're listening to this and you are dealing with self-betrayal, listen, I need you to go back to last season's There are several podcasts about self-betrayal. Listen, email me. Email me, info@drnatashabooker.com. If you are struggling self-betrayal, when you're saying yes, when you want to say no, you're putting people before you, you're breaking the commitments that you make for yourself and to yourself. Listen, let's talk, because I want you whole, healthy, and happy. Whole, healthy, happy. Whole, healthy, happy. Healthy anger tells the truth even when your voice shakes. That's expressing yourself versus explaining yourself. Anger doesn't mean you're bitter. It means you're awake and you're feeling something. There are times when anger is righteous. When someone has done you wrong, anger can be righteous, man. Right? If you're grieving, like I said, grief can bring on anger. It's righteous. It's what we do with it. So here's some questions I want you to reflect on and ask yourself. Where have you been swallowing anger to stay safe? That's number one. Where? In what areas of your life? Have you it's been on slow simmer, but you know it can be at a rapid boil in no time. Who benefits from your silence? One thing I do know is it ain't you. What emotion do you immediately override with logic or prayer? Listen, I want you to answer these. Just notice. I don't want no judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't feel guilty. Listen, just answer those. That'll tell you the direction that you need to go in. And if you need help, or you share it with me, info@drnatashabooker.com. Send an email. We respond. Or you can find me on social media and just DM me. Either way, here's what I want you to remember. You are allowed to feel anger without becoming it. You are allowed to feel anger without becoming it. You are allowed to name harm without being labeled hostile. You are allowed to take up space without shrinking for peace. And another thing, healing doesn't require you to be nice about what hurt you. If I had a mic, I would drop it. Healing does not require you to be nice about what hurt you. It doesn't. So listen, if this episode hit something tender, I want you to sit with it. Journal it, breathe through it, reach out to us. Listen, I love to support you on your journey. And if you need, like I said, if you need help navigating anger, that's what I do. Hit me up. So until next time, I want you to know that your anger is righteous. And I want you to protect your nervous system. I want you to honor your truth and stop betraying yourself to keep peace. So listen, I am Dr. Natasha, and this was And Another Thing podcast. Listen, I want you to like, comment, share with your peoples, right? And like I said, if you need support, I'm here. I want to help you. I want to help you become the best version of you. So listen, I'm out. Talk to you later. Until next time.